Norbert coming to you directly from London for season 11 of the MCP TTS League. We're in the final regular season week 6. And tonight we have LarsH, who will be known as GG Larry, apparently, from Norway. And we also have him against Yigthulu, who's from Iceland. And so I have so many things to talk about when it comes to those particular countries. We have a great show ahead of you as a result. But to help temper me in my Nordic wisdom is an actual Nordic person, the one and only Huggy Bear. Hello, Huggy.
Hello, Norbert. I'll be providing the North perspective tonight.
Yeah. So you're in Sweden, and Sweden is known, of course, as the great conciliator of the region, right? There's no history of oppression or taking over other countries or anything like that would complicate this podcast, right?
Well, the thing is that in Sweden there's a big disinterest in other Nordic countries, whereas other Nordic countries seem to have a great interest in Sweden. So
Oh.
if you ask a general Dane, he's going to know a lot more about Sweden than a Swede will know about Denmark.
Okay.
And that the same goes for Finland, Norway, and Iceland too.
Yeah.
So I guess Sweden is the most self-observing of the Nordic countries.
We're gonna get into this because I had no idea about this, and I'm fascinated. So we're gonna get into that. But let's quickly, so we don't delay the game too much, let's quickly look at the rosters, and then we'll let the boys get going. So on the red side, I said is Lars again from Norway, GG Larry here, and he has brought Angela, Beta Ray Bill, Black Cat, Enchantress, Luke Cage, Valkyrie, Toad, Thor, Shuri, and Scourge. So it looks like a hot
Asgard.
How
fitting.
Woohoo! And on the other side of the table, from Iceland, Yigthulu has brought Kingpin, Hood. I know where this is going. Dr. Voodoo, Bullseye, Beta Ray Bill, Ms. Marvel, Mystique, MODOK Scientist Supreme, Rhino, and Shadowland Daredevil.
All in criminals with all the leaders.
Yeah, really interesting, actually. Yeah. Okay, let me just tell you. Okay, you can start. Woo. Okay, cool. Yeah, really interesting. So the Crims thing is really quite. I wouldn't say common because I haven't seen so much Scientist Supreme. I mean, he's new, so that's part of it. But Miss Marvel is a little bit of a curveball. Dr. Voodoo also maybe a little bit. So I'm interested to see what.
No Ulik.
Yeah, no Ulik. Good point. Very good point.
And no Winter Soldier for Shadowlands.
Yeah.
So yeah, quite a unique take here. It will be interesting to see what he elects to put forward.
Yeah. I wonder if he's a MODOK 2 kind of guy. There's a certain subsect of Crims people who like to play that. And I'm looking forward to that.
He may very well be, but I've heard from certain distinguished mathematicians that if you want the most out of MODOK's leadership, you need to be bringing characters with big attacks, like 5 dice and up.
Lot of dice you need. Okay, so it looks like Lars in red got priority, and he took his secures. And so we'll take a look at what those are. And the secure turned out to be, hang on, Demons Downtown, okay, at 19. Oh, but a big choice in threat level. It could be 16 threat versus Paranoia Pummels. I like both of these crises, actually. These are really fun. So
yep, one of the slowest secures and one of the fastest extracts.
Yeah, so the extracts are really fun. There's 4 of these tokens, and if you pick one up, you can only hold one at a time. If you pick one up, if there's not another allied character within 2 of you, you suffer a damage for picking it up. And but the fun part about
controlling.
Well, you need a buddy to holding your hand. You're holding your hand. And then in the cleanup phase, if you happen to be holding a disturbance and you're within 2 of another allied character, you get an extra VP, but that only procs once. So you don't have it multiple times. Real quick, though, let's take a look. Yeah, go ahead.
Quite often, we're going to see 3 points scored by either side.
Yes.
If it's a 2-2 situation.
Yeah.
So potentially create a very high-paced scoring game.
Absolutely. And also a lot of violence with the incinerates that the Demons Downtown lends you. Okay, real quick,
For
this is a
sure.
new map for me. I haven't seen this one. Thank you to UseBio 1210 for putting this together for us. It's like a rural map.
Apparently,
What?
it's not new at all. It's from season 8.
Yeah. New on me though. New on me. At least, have you played on
Yeah,
it?
I
Uh,
played on it last night. In
oh,
fact.
oh, look, it's got smoke coming out of the locomotive. That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
So we
Train
have,
crash.
oh, fantastic. This is not a pat map because there's not a lot of size fours here, as you can tell. Uh, this maniac put a size 5 farmhouse right here. We got a little well here. Okay, the locomotive size 4. Okay. There's a
Yeah.
size 3 caboose. Whoops. Let's see where they end up with the map. Hold on. That building is going to be key because it's right in the deployment zone. Used bio is holding no prisoners. All right. So
Maybe the train ran over one of the farmer's cows and derailed.
that's it. There might be a cow underneath there. If we have to lift, if we could lift that locomotive up, maybe we'd see it. Okay, so looks like Yigthulu gave Lars the big farmhouse on in his deployment zone, which probably makes sense. So we had the well,
Yep.
size 2 right in the middle, another annoying spot for that. Size 4 locomotive there, size 3 caboose over here. Bunch of size 2s and 1s down the middle. Size 3 water tower. The tree size 2, size 2, size 2, size 3. Okay. So a lot of 1s and 2s in the middle, though. And so here,
Yeah.
down the middle, real quick, is the demons downtown, and then the secures of the 4 paranoia points are here. One here at the bottom of the screen, 2 quite close to the middle, and then 1 all the way at the top. Go ahead.
And one interesting thing to note is that both characters have an abundance of size 4 throwing characters in their rosters.
Mm.
So it might be that putting the size 4 as far away from the action as possible was a tactical consideration from Yigthulu's part. Either way, it's going to be interesting to see who gets to throw what at what time. There are a lot of size 3s, I believe.
Yeah, let's see. Size 3 Stook. It's a big hay bale over there. A size 3 water tower down here. A size 3 caboose down there. Or up there, rather. So yeah, 3 size 3s on
What
the
about the workbench in the middle of the, or whatever that is?
tree trunk.
Is that
No,
a
chicken coop.
chicken coo? Okay, size
Coop.
2.
Coop. Yeah,
All
spelled.
right.
Actually, that's spelled wrong. Chicken coop should be COOP. You're right. Coo.
So not much big centrally placed terrain.
No, actually, that's what I was trying to. But you said it much better than I did. I was trying to say that. So
I must say I'm really excited to see Asgard here because that's been a long time.
totally agree. Real quick, I'm having a beer tonight because it's quite warm again here in London. So cheers to everybody. Hope you're enjoying yourselves wherever you are.
Well, Norbert, if you like to cool down, you need to have a gin and tonic with plenty of ice, which is tonight orange flavored. The
Oh,
tonic, that is.
the tonic's orange flavored. Oh, okay, nice one. Always keeping us on our
Yep.
toes. And I see you got your nice summer jacket on as well.
Yes. It's Midsummer's Eve tomorrow, so got to keep up the summer dress.
Absolutely, it's a big deal. Apparently, Huggy Bear, you had some problems with your voice yesterday, according to the Swedish troll.
I did, but it was last weekend during the tournament, where I'd been to like a conference for the entire weekend, like basically lost my voice.
Fun.
But managed to get through 4 few-worded MCP games over the course of Saturday. But but it didn't go very well for me.
I heard. Is it what do you think? It was your shield list you took?
I played a list with a Shield Mystique Brotherhood crossover, where the Mystique Brotherhood is supposed to be an X-Men counter, basically.
Yep.
Grab all the extracts before they can,
Yep.
and be good at extracts that they don't like. But even though I got to play that into X-Men twice, I lost by the smallest of margins twice.
Oh, no, those are at least they sound like they were intense games, which are always more fun.
Oh, for sure. Swedish Troll also beat me. That was not by a small margin. That was just me being bad.
So you went 1-3, I think.
Yeah.
Oof, ooh, Huggy Bear.
Yeah, that's a low water mark.
It happens sometimes.
And I'm out of the TTS league as well.
I saw you lost by was it 1 point to
Yeah, it
Katon?
was 1 point, so that was
Wow.
one dice roll could have changed it.
Oh
So
man, wow.
really, really close. Fantastic game. But that is it's that's the nicest way to go out.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to get just steamrolled. All right, here are the players coming out with their characters, and we will start with. Let's take a look at what Lars brought along. So he took Luke Cage, Enchantress, Beta Ray Bill, and Thor. This is crazy. So, okay, Beta Ray Bill is Asgard, right? I keep forgetting because I use them in Crims all the time. So, interesting. And the cards are Heroes for Hire, Mission Objective, Brace, Odin's Blessing, and Doom Prophecy. So, all pretty standard cards, except for perhaps Mission Objective, which is not an unusual card, but I'm just not sure what he wants to do with it here.
Well, this is an extract crisis that encourages you to be within 2 of each other, which is the ideal place to be if you have the mission objective card. It can be very powerful there. He also knows that there might be a Dr. Voodoo on Yigthulu's side, and mission objective is a counterattack to that. The same goes for Rhino, actually. And against Rhino, it's really, really powerful because if Rhino doesn't manage to make the opponent's character drop an objective token with this as a robbery, the throw doesn't trigger either. So it's a great counter.
Perfect.
Against this is a free.
I love that idea. All right, looks like we have Kingpin, Shadowland Daredevil, Rhino, and Beta Ray Bill. So a lot of big boys. Be interesting to see which leadership he starts off with, because he brought himself versatile strategy. Exciting. This is robbery, sacrifice, brace for impact, and all according to plan. Really interesting.
Nice. Will be really interesting to see. You'll have to have him tell you which one is the leader.
Yeah.
From the get go, but he can decide that after deployment. So
yeah. That's the very last thing that you do. Exactly right.
But when that card came out, there were people that discussed that. You started with it on Kingpin, and then when the game starts to get more about killing, then you switch to the Shadowland leadership.
Right.
But then your great friend Stasha made the discovery that, in fact, it's even more mind gaming to start with the leadership on Shadowland Daredevil.
Yep.
Because that actually means that the opponent has to play around both leaderships, because he knows that at any time you can just switch to the Kingpin leadership, and then you might be able to score a ton of points in one go. So he even though you don't have the Kingpin leadership, the opponent has to play as if you had it.
Yep.
Which is a great mind game.
Yep. Good old Sasha. I miss him on the scene. He's had his first baby, and so he's busy being a dad right now. So he's not playing right at the moment.
He'll be back.
Nezuchaltu, are you from Sweden? Or because it sounds like you're at the same tournament as Huggy Bear. He's asking some really good questions in the chat. And let's see how the deployment has gone. So Lars has put Beta Ray Bill right down the middle. He has Luke Cage just to the right, and hard right flank is Thor. All the way here on the left is the Enchantress, and that's all the characters there. Meanwhile, Yigthulu has put Beta Ray Bill down the middle, sensing a theme here, because they're both immune to Incinerate, so it's a perfect character to put to hold secures in Demons Downtown. Just to the left is Shadowlands Daredevil. I think his ninjas are far left flanking there.
Yep.
Kingpin to the right, and Rhino at the far right flank.
Looks like Yigthulu is determined to try and pick up 2 disturbance tokens in one activation, going with Daredevil, possibly. At least that's how I interpret his setup.
Yeah, let me see if I can get a hold of what leadership he chose. Which leadership are you starting with? Yeah. So, just taking a look here. So interesting. Now, I would have thought normally when I play on Paranoia, I tend to keep my ninjas with Shadowland Daredevil so that they're helping, keep the, they're within 2. So
yeah, so he doesn't take damage, and also generate extra points.
Yes. So apparently, Yigthulu has gone with Kingpin first. So the classic configuration.
Yep.
All right, cool. So, so who's going first? It should be Lars.
Apparently, looks like Lars. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool.
GG Larry.
GG Larry. Some of these screen names. Okay, so he's taking Luke Cage and is going to go after that Paranoia all the way on the right flank there, actually. So he'll take a damage. What were you gonna say?
I can't help to think about the old classic computer games Leisure Suit Larry.
Yes. Oh my god. the vaguely soft pornish kind of computer game made out of 8-bit pixels.
Very vaguely.
Oh my god, that's a blast from the past.
Porn was certainly a central plot device.
Yeah, but it was clever porn. It was all kinds of innuendo kind of language and stuff like that. It was so funny.
Yeah. Look them up, kids. If you will enjoy them.
Yeah.
Questionable.
That was the early days of computer games when that kind of those lines hadn't been drawn yet. Meanwhile, I just got an email from Twitch talking about all the different like warnings I'm supposed to put on my podcasts if it has certain types of things, and one of them was as if you have a sexually oriented game or something, and I was like, okay. The farthest we go here is talking about the hard-on enforcer on this show.
Yeah. That one is very hard.
All right, so the ninjas are going, and they look like they're trying to pick up the Paranoia in the middle, which is not a bad shout because they'll take the damage, but they have 2, so it's okay, and it's not like one or 2 points of hit points are going to matter to a grunt in terms of surviving.
No, that's right.
So,
they will be easily killed by any of the Asgard characters, though, but that also means that they need to spend an action killing them rather than moving up the board.
Yep.
And at least, Thor can reach them with a hammer throw. Battery Bill can walk and do his lightning thing, but then he won't have enough power to grab the hammer. So it's basically up to Enchantress, maybe. But he can obviously double move and fish them in. Maybe he will manage to get the... This will, however, have Shadowland Daredevil be incinerated next round, which is not something that I would like.
Yigthulu's taking no prisoners. He's going to go ahead and pick up both things, which is really nice use of the grunts, actually. But very vulnerable now. Very vulnerable from personal experience.
Yeah, and the thing is that move is much more efficient when you have priority, because now it's still going to be a 2-2 situation. So he could just as well just have picked up 1 and then picked up a second one his next activation. But if he had gone first, then that would have mean that he would have had 2. Then his opponent would have taken 1, and he would have taken his third.
Yeah.
So,
well, this is not Swedish MCP, sir. This is how they play in Iceland. Okay.
So Swedish? Let me guess. You consider Swedish MCP to be like low scoring, defensive, not yeah.
I have no comment.
Yeah, but it's it's very Swedish. You can't like you can't overdo things. You have to be lagom,
Oh,
which is the word that doesn't exist in any other language than Swedish, I've heard.
interesting. And it's
Yeah.
hard to translate, I'd imagine. You can only.
Yeah, it's like sort of a crossover between uh mediocre, medium, and just and perfect.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
It's
with you.
like it's not too good, not too bad.
Right.
It's just perfect.
Yeah.
Like it's not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah. Well, Iceland is the land of ice and fire, as we all know,
Yep.
with their freezing cold temperatures and glaciers. On top of them, there are all the hot springs and volcanic activity. Very,
Mm.
so maybe we'll see some of that today.
More like the extremes.
Yeah, all about the extremes. And so, let's see. Let me quickly catch everybody up. So we have Daredevil and the ninjas each holding a paranoia thing, a vaccine, I guess. I don't know what they call them.
Disturbance.
Disturbance, yeah, disturbance. And they're
A bunch of kids yelling, and holding signs.
Luke Cage has got one as well, and he's all the way at the top by himself. And then here at the bottom, Beta Ray Bill just picked up the last one. And so usually what happens in these instances, once they've all been picked up, everybody then just starts running into the middle, and it becomes a big fight in the middle. Kingpin is going to be holding the back point.
Did you get an answer on what leadership
Yeah.
Yigthulu choose?
Kingpin first.
Kinky Pinky.
Kinky Pinky. Yeah, Kinky Pinky. Man, I just turned the tag off about sexual content, and you're on dangerously close to me getting banned.
No, it's the sixth Teletubby, Kinky Pinky.
Oh, is that right? Is this like an underground Teletubby, like the one we don't talk about?
Yeah.
Teletubby.
Yeah, exactly.
The disgraced Teletubby that wasn't allowed on the show.
Prodigal child.
There's the Teletubby that his life went wrong. He's smoking cigarettes behind dumpsters.
Sniffing glue, maybe.
Yeah, sniffing glue. Yeah.
Oh, that was every Teletubby.
Oh, okay. So Thor has decided to move forward and is within 2 of Luke Cage, so he's going to get that extra victory point and is attacking the grunts, hoping to get their disturbance off of them. Two hits into no saves does the deed, and here comes the thing. And this is exactly the problem with using the grunts so aggressively. This is that you just
Yeah, and this has now created a situation where it's 3-1 to Larry.
Yeah. Now, I hope.
Which is, of course, extremely bad news for the criminals because their leadership is all about scoring.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of
ending
secures.
games fast.
Not a lot of secures for them to be using the Kingpin leadership on right now.
Yeah, correct. And they don't want to get incinerated either. So.
All right. If there's the Icelandic community is watching this match because one of their brethren is playing tonight, I hope you consider. You're not going to the WTC, unfortunately. I don't think there's an Icelandic team going, but the Israeli team is looking for one player to round out their thing, and I think the Austrians are also looking to put a second team together. I'm not sure. So if you're interested in the Israeli team, which I know has a spot, get a hold of Guy Zaidi, Zaidi, on Discord, or just message me or Huggy, and we'll get you in touch.
For sure. Ooh, we might see a happy robber.
It has to be within 1.
Come flying across the table.
Yeah.
He can. He'll get placed.
Right. So Rhino moved up 1. Now he's doing his attack, which places him within 1, which is exactly in robbery territory. It's the not.
Sadly, no damage.
Oh gosh, look at that! 3 hits and 3 saves. Boo. Boo.
You can note it as well that Beta Ray, if with 1 less block, Beta Ray could still have paid 1 to reduce the damage to 0. So.
Yep.
Not great odds, but worth a try, I guess.
I will be going this weekend up to Stockport, England, to play in the UK Nations team tournament this weekend.
All right.
Looking forward to it very much. We've been working on our
Very nice.
rosters.
Yeah. Why did you guys have to put that on Midsummer?
I don't know. They thought it was a good idea, you know, because this midsummer it'll be
Otherwise,
nice.
I would have been would have looked up the opportunity to go there.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, it's tricky. Um, are you coming to the York Weekender in September?
I certainly hope so. What are the dates?
Well, it's sold out already. If you don't have a ticket by now,
Oh crap!
you're out of luck.
Missed the information.
They sold out in like 20 minutes.
Wow. I was unaware it was even
Yeah,
out.
they did an autumn edition because the spring one had such a great outcome.
Yeah. Ah,
Joe
that's
Gimanchi
that's
wants.
that's too bad, but
Yeah.
fantastic turnout.
Yes. Yes. It's a pity that it can't be made bigger, but it physically can't fit into the hotel. More people. It's a full up on 64 players. So good old Joe. Joe just made it into the cuts. Congratulations, Joe. He was the winner of last season, and he's made it into the cuts this time, which is great. And let me quickly what's going on with Enchantress. Enchantress has moved forward to secure the back point, and then she uses her kiss. Is it kiss? No, what's the name?
Siren's Call,
Siren's
I
Call
think.
ability to move Shadowlands Daredevil off the point. You can move people short, and so he's no longer holding that point any longer, and is kind of in the middle of nowhere. She finished, and so then Yigthulu has decided to move Beta Ray Bill into the middle and is going to keep him within 2 of Shadowland Daredevil to get that extra point, victory point that
Yep.
we've been talking about. And I think that's going to end the first turn.
Good thing for about this is that Daredevil is now not going to be incinerated, and Beta Ray Bill is immune to incinerate.
Yeah, so not so bad, actually. Not so bad, you're right.
But we're still looking at a situation where Yigthulu looks to score 4 and Larry looks to score 5.
3. No. Three disturbances and 1 secure, right? 4.
Yeah, but then the bonus
The
point
bonus
for
point.
having.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Bonus point. People are mentioning PHP Chrono. Good to see you again, as always. One of our big fans. Is mentioning how Rhino being so close to Enchantress's attacks is going to be dangerous since he has such a low mystic defense.
For sure. But her only attack, mystic attack, is a spender. A cheap one, to be sure, but next round she will only be able to afford it once, and I think it's 6 dice, so probably not killing him.
Yeah. Yep. Joe Jumanji wants to know from you about, is Midsummer a thing in Sweden?
Oh, for sure. It really is.
Yeah. I think of all the countries, it's the most popular in Sweden.
Yeah, it's sometimes talked about as our unofficial national day. And I believe there's some merit to that.
And is it just
given the turnout of people? Yeah.
Is it just the nearest Friday to actual Midsummer, or is it
I'm not really sure. They did change that at some point, and up to like the 1950s, it was on a set date. But then they changed that so that it's something like, like you said, the first Friday after a certain meteorological estimate.
What day do you have off? Is it Friday or Monday?
Friday. Well, the actual Midsummer's Eve. And not everyone does that. That is between you and your employer.
Oh.
But most people are off on Midsummer's Eve.
Okay. Okay. So it looks like Larry's up, and he is debating what to do with Beta Ray Bill. As I mentioned, everybody's going to be now coming close to the center.
We can notably see that Enchantress spent a power to remove Incinerate from herself during the start of. Larry's round.
So that is the affiliation ability of Asgard. At the beginning of each turn, you can pick one of your characters to spend a power, and they can either heal themselves one or remove a condition for one. And
Yep.
that's why
And
he's put the
importantly, it does not have to be the character currently activating.
correct. So you'll
You
see
don't even
people.
have to make an activation. You can use it during a past turn.
Yes, good point about past turns. That is something that's not obvious, especially to newer players. And you'll see he demarks it with the little Asgard token to show that because you can only do it to yourself once per round.
Yep. Correct.
And that's
So
important
this
for
is
Enchantress.
the sort of the weak point of Beta Ray Bill. I think his action economy is not great. He often finds himself in a place where he needs to spend an action moving, so he's rarely double tapping, unless you have some sort of tech such as Rainbow Bridge, or if you manage to lure the opponent to make attacks into him, triggering his aggressive, putting him in a better spot. But otherwise, it's
So that was
it
pretty.
takes a very skilled player to not have to waste actions on moving.
That was a really clever move by Lars. He moved Beta Ray Bill close to Rhino and then used his throw to throw Rhino just away, get him out of there. And then
Yep.
used his second move to be within 2 of Enchantress and also securing the back point. Really interesting.
For sure. And he took care not to throw Rhino into any piece of terrain, because that would have generated Rhino the 1 power he needs in order to do a stampede and then be back in the action.
Yeah, exactly. So, interesting moves from Beta Ray Bill. Lars is playing very cleverly with his characters. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, and he's in the lead. He doesn't have to chase here. He just have to keep status quo. Whereas Yigthulu is the beatdown. He needs to do something more radical to change the situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what that is going to be is something we don't know yet.
Well, let's see. He's taking.
He probably needs to try and get a good turn out of his own Beta Ray Bill,
which is right in the middle.
Yep.
But he's taking a look. So the board is Lars is very heavily weighted. The top part of this board. As a matter of fact, folks, I'm going to go ahead and let's try to remember the rhinos at a screen at the bottom somewhere, because all the actions now is going to be up here otherwise. So I know a lot about, not a lot, I know something about the Swedish dynamic and the Danish dynamic and the connections to Norway and to Finland to a certain degree. I know nothing about the interrelationship of the other Nordic countries to Iceland. Is there any like historical, like, animosity or friendship or
well, Iceland used to be a Danish colony.
Okay, got it.
And also it was like populated by Norwegians who didn't like the laws of the Norwegian king. If I don't misremember. So, and their population is still very small. I think there's somewhere around 3,000 people, 300,000 people living on Iceland, which is like, not even a.
It's not even a city.
City in the UK. Yeah. When I was doing my PhD studies, we had this. We were offered to do this desk exchange between various universities, and one of the options. Well, there was Copenhagen, there was Oslo, there was, and then there was the University of Iceland. And I was like, why do they call it the University of Iceland? That's totally without imagination. Do they only have one university? Oh, they do only have one.
So no need to get fancy on the naming. In fact, you could just call it the university. That'd be enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So it looks like what's his name? Shadowland Daredevil walked up and did an attack on Enchantress with his second action, which then brings in the ninjas. The ninjas have a rule: when they come in, they get to make one attack, and so they've done that as well. And so far, you have to pay attacks when you attack Enchantress of 2 power, or else she gets to use her really strong Mystic defense. And I think that's what happened because she took no
Yep.
damage in the course of that exchange.
Yeah, and the grunts, since they don't have a power mechanic, are of course unable to do that.
Yep. That's all right. They're not the greatest against somebody like Enchantress or Mysterio, for instance. And Shadowland Daredevil now is also securing the center point. So, Iceland. What I was going to say? Oh, I'm in the health industry. If I'm not mistaken, they're also a unique nation in that they've done the genetic sequence of every one of their citizens or something. And the reason I know that
That sounds creepy.
is it that, or it's something because they have a very robust database that is used a lot by people using like doing registry studies where they take a look at overall population dynamics and things, and they have a very rich database. I could have sworn it was because they had everybody sequenced, but I might be wrong. It might be something else. It might be just that they keep really good medical records. So
Maybe someone in the chat knows. In that case, let us know.
yes, please. It'd be interesting to know.
That looks like a tasty beam.
Yeah. Yeah. Now Enchantress has that beam.
It's only range 3 though. He was measuring range 4, but still plenty enough to get all 3 characters. Because it's not just about doing damage, it's also that she will generate a ton of power that she can use to do nasty stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, she's like Thanos in that regard, where the more she beats up people and gets power, the more dangerous she becomes because then she does her damn
Yep.
Siren's calls all over the place. All right, keep in mind,
I
Daredevil
think
is the one who holds the
Lars is
disturbance.
doing really smart moves overall here.
Yeah.
Now he's moving Cage close to Beta Ray Bill, who is the one that probably needs to be the one doing the heavy lifting for Yigthulu this round. And if Luke Cage can somehow generate 2 power from, well, I don't know, killing a grunt, then he would have just enough to use his 2 dangerous to ignore, stopping Beta Ray Bill from double tapping something else,
Yeah.
such as Enchantress.
Yep. Yeah.
Then again, Cage is holding a. Okay, he's tracking Daredevil now.
It's going into Daredevil instead of the ninjas.
All right.
Yeah. Done 2 hits
Maybe he
into
was-
no saves. Oh, sorry, 1 save because of
Yeah.
blanks. Counts blanks.
Maybe he was fishing for the double wild stagger.
All right, so was that 1 damage that went through? Yeah, 1 damage that went through, and he is done. And I don't believe that he is on the point. Let's see. No, he is not, but is holding a disturbance. So yeah, week 6, a lot of finalists already going into the finalist channel. It will be exciting. We'll have a week off for the finals, and then 5 rounds of beautiful finals excitement. We'll have to
Yep.
see how many we can stream because the time zones thing kind of screws us up sometimes when it's a multi-time zone event. Which
Good thing it'll be during vacation time. So,
Ha!
and I'm not traveling abroad this year. So,
Nice one. You're just working too much.
yeah.
All right, looks like
That is true.
Yigthulu is going to try to get Rhino into the action.
Yeah. Pretty necessary for him.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if he could reach.
Yeah, does he have enough power to? I don't think he has enough power to even body slide. So, or whatever it is, stampede.
No, the best thing he can get, I think, is a move and an attack. But then he gets to place, and he does have enough power for this as a robbery. So,
The thing about him though is it's not great if you have to use both your actions to walk up to the thing that you're stealing. because then you're typically just going to get counter attacked, and he's not terribly robust.
Well, unless he saves his activation for last,
Yeah, sure.
which may very well be the reasonable thing to do here.
So
In that case, we might have a situation where it's not unlikely that Yigthulu gets to score all of the portals and steal an objective, which would take him to a 5-2 or 5-3 situation, which would swing him back into the game. So a lot can happen, obviously, but he's not saving Rhino for last, apparently.
Nope. Instead of move, and he's looking to see if he's within 3 of Enchantress. So.
Oh, whoa, not close enough.
Well, but he's got more movement, so it's just a matter of whether those barrels are in the way.
Yeah.
I think he may be all right, though.
Is he in? Is he out? Is he in? No, he's out.
Yeah, but look at there's plenty more room on the stick. Is the stupid barrels? Yeah.
I think it's a weird angle. If you look at it from top down, I think he's at the end of it.
Oh, yeah, sure enough.
Look at that.
Oh, so aggravating.
Sad. I still think he should have waited.
Yeah. There we go. All right, now we can zoom back into the action.
He's only within 1 of Enchantress, and he cannot use this as a robbery on her because she's not holding an extract.
Right, so he's just done. You know, this is interesting.
Also, he has yet to activate.
I am, going to the team tournament with a London team, right? That's the team. But I'm actually rooming with a bunch of the Irish guys who are coming over as well. And, they were very kind. They kindly came to the York Weekender in the springtime, and they brought some Irish whiskeys, which I really, really enjoyed. And so I wanted to return the favor. So I bought a bottle of Scotch whiskey, right, to bring in. And look at the one that I actually bought. This is coincidental. I had no idea we were going to watch this Viking face-off today, but I got this.
Ooh, Highland Park Viking Honor.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to trying it. I haven't had it before.
Did you know, Norbert, that was the actual whiskey that I had during our very first stream together?
Oh, no kidding. Oh, well, now I'm going to be very excited to try it. Oh, looks like Enchantress has got activated. She took out the grunts and now is going to attack Shadowland Daredevil. Or no, she's going to throw hay bale at him first, maybe?
Possibly.
Let's see.
Sure. Maybe.
He rolled... I'm not sure. I see...
Or is this...
Was it just an attack?
I mean, if it was a beam, it would be logical for him. But why is the range 2 out there?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what happens now. Some really crummy dice rolls is what's happening. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's got a throw. We can double check it. Let's see.
Yeah, she has a throw. It's size 2, so for sure. But then why was she rolling dice?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe she's doing it now. I just saw her throw some, spend some power. Yeah, so she's going to do a Siren's Call to move him. And now he's within 1, so he could, she could steal. Yep, there she goes. She's going to steal with her kiss.
Is the noise I imagine she makes.
Let's look. All right, enough. My rating is going to get messed up. Well, you're gonna scare all the Gen Z,
okay.
Our fan base.
My bad. She's not making any noises at all.
Cool. Well, that was an eventful turn for her. She cleared out the grunts, moved Daredevil forward, and stole his disturbance. So he's holding 4 now. All of them. Wow. Looks like Luke Cage also used the Asgard ability. I'm going to assume to heal himself. I'm not sure where he took damage, though.
Speaking of sexual content.
Hey, no, we're not. I just took the damn tag off. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I happened to watch a couple of the old Roger Moore James Bond movies the other night.
Yeah, those didn't age well.
No. for sure. But let's judge things on their own premises.
Okay.
Given that,
Yeah.
um, I used to love them as a kid, but
Yeah.
my God, there are so many penis jokes in them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of innuendo. It's just like the way that cartoons, like Pixar cartoons, are now too. There's like one film
Yeah,
for the kids, and there's another film underneath for the adults that are watching it.
yeah, exactly. And it's real subtle. Like he's saying things like, just I'm just keeping the British end up, sir. Or allow me to enlarge your vocabulary.
You know what I saw on the plane on my trip just now? I rewatched Mad Max Fury Road, and man, does that film hold up! It is so good from start to finish. It just doesn't stop, and you're never bored at
Yeah.
all through it. It's just crazy how intense that film goes, and you're just happy to be there.
You know what else holds up?
Oh God, the British end.
Me neither. Me neither.
All right, Yigthulu's moving his Beta Ray Bill off the center point into the thick of things, which is good.
My
Now,
God.
yeah, he's surrounded by Asgardians, and let's see who he
He's
decides.
looking to get in the fight
Yeah,
for sure.
he's also holding now the back point. With
Hmm.
and with King Hin's ability up, that means he's neutralizing that point because Lars has two characters on it.
Yeah.
And now he's attacking Enchantress, and I saw him pay the tax, so she's going to be rolling just a couple of dice. She's got 2 saves, though. She's doing fine. Crit is one of them. Oh, God, and his attack roll was bleh. So that's some bad luck. That's the end of Bill. But she gets stunned, so there's that.
Yep.
Which is quite handy with her, because, the more power she has, the more nasty stuff she can do, and so that's helpful.
Oh, for sure. Stun makes her really, really, really sad.
Yeah.
Except that her power generation generates 1 power at a time. So
Yeah, fair.
only when taking damage.
All right. Back over to Lars. I think he's going to look at Asgard. Thor. Now, the thing about playing Thor is that you can get the buff Thor or you can get fat Thor on the table.
Yep.
You really don't know which one came until you start rolling some dice.
No, you really don't, Norbert.
And then once he takes on one of his 2 forms, he tends to stick with that one for the rest of the game.
Yep. Let's see if he sticks anything to Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, both are in range. Let's see. Nope. Looks like Daredevil's going to get the love.
So much love.
Thor, a hammer full of love. He's going to get hammered.
Yeah.
Okay. Thor rolls.
But dang.
Good hit. 4 hits. Does he have a trigger on this normal attack, the strike? I can't remember.
He does. It's a wild, and he got it, but it's a throw away, and that means he would throw him into his own. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe he can do an extra damage to him by throwing him into that hay
Hey, Bale, yeah.
stack,
Yep.
hay bale,
Yep.
bale.
Bale, yeah. So yeah, he only saved 1 by virtue of his ability to count blanks, and so he took 3 hit points there. He's on 4 out of 6. 4 out of 6, and now he's going to get thrown, looks like far away.
Yeah, and the thing is now that if Thor elects to spend 3 power to throw Yigthulu's Beta Ray Bill out of there, and then I think Thor can move to the middle secure. Maybe he doesn't have the movement to get there. Maybe he does. But this is starting to look really, really grim for Yigthulu this round, because currently GG Larry is looking to score somewhere around 6 points
Mm,
if he throws Yigthulu's Beta Ray Bill off the point. Now, I would not be surprised to see that.
yeah. This is a.
And yeah, that would mean,
Go ahead.
yeah, that would of course mean a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say both of these players are on X and 1. They're have one loss each, so they only the winner of this game is going to be able to make it into the elimination rounds. So big match for them both, which is exactly why one of the reasons that we chose it. Plus,
Mhm.
having a Norwegian. So okay, so we talked a bit about Iceland, and I know there's a few players there who like to play. In fact, they have a special cabin that they go play out. They go out into the tundra somewhere, or I don't know,
Wow.
glacier. Yeah, there's a cabin that you can rent out for social events or whatever, and so they rent it out for a weekend and just drink themselves silly playing MCP. So that
Huh.
sounds amazing to me. So, uh, I need to see if Helgi is doing that again this year somehow. That'd be amazing.
Nice.
There's usually a lot of cheap
Don't
flights
think in
to
dice.
Iceland too, so might be fun. So okay, so that's what we know about Iceland. But I heard that the Norwegians never got a hold of American Saturday cartoons in whenever they were popular, and so don't have a diet of Marvel in their
Wow.
yeah, and so that's why this game is not so popular in Norway because they just aren't into
Oh.
Marvel. You know,
Yeah, Marvel's never been really big in Sweden either. Star Wars was always way bigger.
mm,
I know it's the other way around in the States, perhaps in the UK as well. I'm not sure.
that's a good question. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to
Well,
say what.
Spider-Man was, of course, sort of popular, but I think more people know, more Swedes know about Spider-Man than all of the other Marvel characters put together.
Okay, sure. But you see all the films, right? The films come to your country.
Yeah, but that's MCU, and that's like the recent
Yeah. Okay. Fair.
fif
Yes.
15 years now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Okay.
15 years, oh my God.
Yeah. It's
Did
crazy.
Thor, does Thor get within one? Does he get within one?
I don't know. It looks like he's
He did.
okay.
I
Yeah.
think he did. Yeah, he's got the symbol over his
Yeah.
head, so.
Yeah. He's good. Good job. So
But Kingpin has the power to throw him off,
he
or
threw.
just move up and punch him. But then he will be, yeah, he can punch Thor. Do that.
Oh, we've got a Norwegian in the chat. Thanks for chatting. He says Norway did not have the Marvel cartoons, but did have the comics. Okay.
Mm.
And are those comics in Norwegian or are they in English? I don't know. The actual books, the comic books, printed ones. So Kingpin has decided to move forward into the middle. He isn't quite contesting it yet, I don't think. Oh no, he is. I beg your pardon. The screen was just not showing it. So he is contesting the middle point, and he's going to go ahead and attack Thor, just like you said. Oh, and apparently
Sukwal mentions that his introduction to Marvel was the Marvel vs. Capcom and the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. That was also my introduction. I love that cartoon.
it's a good cartoon.
You know, the Swedish television introducer always used to say, and now there will be cartoons for the slightly older kids. Spider-Man. You always felt like, yes, that's me.
One of my favorite scenes from like they have little, like they used to show little scenes during the introduction of the show, and one of the ones
Mhm.
is Spider-Man is standing in the middle of a flaming building, like fire, like everywhere around him, and he smacks his fist into his hand like he just realized something, and then he starts climbing up a rope to get out. Does this sound familiar?
It sounds.
Or it could be 80s cartoons because
Yes, that's what I'm thinking, because they are way more silly.
Oh, okay. I think it might be 80s. It's the same style as the one where you see the Spider-Man point at one Spider-Man and then that Spider-Man points back at him. It's the same kind of look. So I'm wondering if it's from
Yep.
the 80s. I'm dating myself pretty heavily here.
Yeah. Let's not miss this. Heroes for Hire.
Woohoo! So Kingpin attacked Thor, but Luke Cage decided to, or Thor paid the card to pay for Heroes for Hire, which means that Luke Cage gets to move within an inch of the target, and he will be taking the hit. And importantly, if he survives the hit, then he gets to throw or punch back. I forget something.
Throw, and that will mean that Kingpin. Yeah, just place him there. It's better. It's better for you. So he will throw Kingpin off the point, and lo and behold, I think Larry's about to score 7-0.
Oh, yikes. Yes, Tim Simpson, my buddy from Adepticon in the States, said the cartoon I'm talking about is from the 70s.
Yeah, I like the the Spider-Man and his amazing friends.
Yeah, I think I was.
As a matter of fact, I'm still hoping for that team in MCP.
Hey, we should just make that happen. Like it was a fun event at one of your tournaments. All right, there's.
Yeah, but
Yeah, go ahead.
I want Firestar. I want Iceman.
Oh, I see. You're missing some characters still. So yeah, Luke didn't take any damage either from that attack. Poor Yigthulu. Nothing's really going his way. And that is the end of round 2. And as you said, 4 disturbances for Larry, and he's got the center. And does he have the back point now? Yeah.
Yep.
He has a back point.
12-5. That is a
backbreaker,
killing blow. Yeah.
Oof.
And Larry Yigthulu his characters are not in great positions either.
Mm-hmm.
He does have priority, but
no, Kingpin went last.
I mean,
right?
You're right.
Yeah.
But he can pay for all according to. No, he's 1 power short.
Is he?
No, he's not. The power phase
6, 7,
hasn't
8,
taken
9.
place yet.
Yeah, because Beta Ray Bill doesn't count. You can't use
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bill because he's
Yeah,
a criminal.
from a CS point of view, this is catastrophic.
Yeah.
Because what the leadership does is it allows you to score points and pass around objectives, and well, we're not seeing many points here.
Okay, it looks like versatile strategy is going. All according plan is happening. Yeah. So he's going to blow pretty much all the power on his characters, apart from 2 on Rhino, which is probably for.
And this is a double-edged sword, because this means that yes, he gets priority and gets to go first, but his characters now don't have any power, so we'll have a tough time doing anything really impactful.
And the tough thing about playing against Asgard is that all the characters are so beefy that you're not going to just knock them out with a couple of attacks typically.
No, exactly. And Odin's Blessing is also still online.
Segram, you're going to be joining the European League in Season 12? That's amazing. That'd be awesome. The European League plays 5 hours ahead of the East Coast. In the evenings, of course. Right, so this is... he's going with Daredevil. He only has 1 hit point left, so he's probably trying to use him before he goes and gets dazed. And he's attacking Thor. It's going to be tough. 3 hits into... Ooh, just 1 save. That's something. That's 2 damage going through.
Yep.
And Thor's incinerated as well.
Yep. But technically immortal.
And then the ninjas...
Well, not if the ninjas have anything to say about it.
Yeah, they usually do much better than Daredevil, in my experience.
If they can do 3 damage, then there's a chance Thor dies.
Well, I've seen it happen. At mine, when they come in, they are really angry and they roll well for some reason.
Yep.
Let's see how they do this time. Not so great.
Womp womp.
Wrong ninjas. You got the clown ninjas shurned up. But he's still got 1 attack left. And does he have power? Yeah. He doesn't have power to do his big spender, sadly. With the ninjas there is actually
and Thor will can just spend for Odin's Blessing.
Oh gosh, yes, Odin's Blessing. Odin's Blessing, of course, is where you spend 2 or 3 power, and all the damage is reduced to 1.
Hmm. Yep.
You used to be an Asgard player, right?
Yeah, but that was a long, long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. So he's changing his tact and deciding to have Daredevil go attack Enchantress. He spent the 2 power to do the tax, but now
Luke
Luke
Cage.
Cage does his 2 dangerous to ignore, which is a taunt, and so the attack goes on to Luke Cage. So that's 2 power that Daredevil had to burn for nothing, sadly. And also his dice crapped on him again, only 2 hits into 1 save. Yeah, I'm glad I took a beer this time. It's all empty, and we're good because the game might be over after this round. That's okay because I'm still extremely tired from my trip over to Boston this week. I flew in this morning, but I didn't want to let another week go by. We did 6 weeks of the season. We broadcast every
Yeah,
week. Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, I'm very happy about that.
And I think I only missed 2
I
or
think so.
something.
I think just 2.
Yeah. In the like most work intense part of the year.
You're in publishing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So why is the summer particularly busy?
because everything. Well, in September there's this Swedish books fair,
Oh,
and everything you want to sell there needs to go to the print. Go to print before you go on holiday, meaning now.
nice one. How many
Yeah.
books are you going to be putting into the fair that you're responsible for?
Over the next 2 weeks, I will be sending 5 books to
Whoa.
print.
Nice. Amazing. Well, thanks for carving out some time from that schedule to stream with us tonight. Oh, Tim Simpson's playing Asgard now. They're always at one.
Nice.
Everybody's
Yeah,
excited.
it seems like they're about to have a resurgence.
What's triggering it? You think it's just the meta changing around them?
I think there's been discussion on Discord that they seem to have a good matchup into X-Men, and X-Men has now been the top dogs for a while. So of course, if there's something that can give them a rough time, then it's obviously going to be interesting for a lot of people.
Very good point.
Oh my God, was that a cane laser being measured?
That's when you know things are
Range
desperate.
3 from Kingpin?
Yeah.
Range 3 from Kingpin.
I mean, it's okay, but it's not great.
It's really not great. If it had generated him 1 power
Yeah.
per attack, then it would have been great.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that. Larry being very careful about his next move here. Trying to decide who to attack, but it looks like he wants to activate Enchantress next.
Yeah, looks like he's seeing if he can find an angle of the beam where he gets both Daredevil and Rhino. Don't know what he's looking to do.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, if he doesn't damage Rhino, because if he damages Rhino, then he's going to trigger his aggressive. So just Sirens calling him away to Africa and then moving Enchantress in the other direction, keeping her extract safe. Seems like a decent plan.
Yeah, he's just looking at
even
me.
though even though the biggest threat is, of course, Yigthulu's Beta Ray build down next to that train wreck.
So it looks like she's going to do a beam into Rhino and Daredevil. I'm not sure who the first target is. Oh, it looks like it's Daredevil. Thank you. Lars is doing great with the arrows tonight. Thank you so much, Lars. What a pro. 2 hits with the crits. And Daredevil saves. Hasn't rolled yet. So 3 hits altogether into how many saves? 2 saves. So that knocks him out, though, because he only had 1 left. So that's job done there.
Adding insult to injury.
And then Rhino should be next.
At least it didn't sap any power.
Yeah. All right, next attack. 3 hits again. Great save, though. 3 saves. Rhino loves it. He's just getting tickled. And I think yeah.
Have you gotten to watch the first episode of Secret Invasion yet?
No, but I heard somebody say it was really nice, actually, but I have not yet.
Right, great.
Yeah.
I plan to watch it right after this.
Oh, cool. Good for you. Look, aren't you busy? Aren't you making books?
Yeah, you're right. I should work.
You can watch it on holiday, silly.
Yeah.
Although being a Shield player, I'm sure it's very tempting to go watch that show.
Oh, for sure. It's all about the Shield.
All right.
And of course, my loss last night was the dreaded Shield versus X-Men matchup. So still
gave him a run for his money, though.
Content.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, real close one. So that's as good as it gets sometimes.
So Enchantress decided to use her second action just to run away, and so she's done that.
But
I'm sorry. I think she might have been close enough to move Beta Ray Bill even further away. He seems a little further away.
That's what she did.
Yeah.
That's what she did. Rather than Rhino.
Yeah.
Because Rhino... Why did Rhino lose 2 power? She sapped it from him. Oh, that's evil.
How did she sap it?
With her attack.
With the beam. The beam. Okay, yes.
Yeah, that's just evil.
Yeah.
Because she needed to roll wild. Yeah.
Yikes. Wow. Sorry. Yeah, poor
Cane Laser.
The dreaded Cane Laser. Does it tag Enchantress? Let's see who he's going next first. So. Let's see. 2 hits into 2 saves.
Yep.
3 hits into 2 saves, and he gets to re-roll a blank. Yeah, so 3 hits into 2 saves. So that was against Enchantress, I guess. So now it's into Luke Cage. Better hit. 3 hits with 2 crits. Crits roll into another hit. So 4 hits. He gets to re-roll 1. And this is probably because of, versatile strategy got played. So now he's playing with the Daredevil leadership, which means he's re-rolling against people holding extracts. So Luke only took 1 hit point there as well. I think he's just going to do another strike into the Kingpin now. And so it comes out to how many hits here? Just 3 hits into 1 save. And he's got his thick hide or whatever it's called, so damage reduction 1. So he's only taking 1 hit point. Yeah, this is nasty. Luke Cage, thinking about it, is perfect kind of Asgard character, even though he isn't affiliated, because of the fact that he's just so tough and has a throw, which is a lot of them do.
Exactly. Tough characters like healing. Characters that give the opponent a tough run for their money for every health point. Obviously, health points are worth more when you're tanky.
Mm-hmm.
We have great defenses. So yeah, Cage seems like a perfect character in Asgard.
Yeah, really interesting, actually. Okay. That's the end of Yigthulu's turn. So back over to Lars. Looks like maybe he's going to be working with Luke Cage next. Yeah. Getting Luke Cage into that center point. Yep, so now he's on the point next to Kingpin.
Yeah, and Kingpin no longer counts as 2 since he switched leaderships. So it's currently the Larry scoring the middle.
So he's just going to clear out those ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
Attacking the ninjas. Ninjas have only saved nothing. 2 hits, exactly what he needed to take them out.
Yep.
Jumanji's pointing out how quickly games can go away from you if you give up an extract early on. Especially.
Funny thing, as this game has played out, mission objective is a dead card.
Right, he owns it all, so
Yeah, he
he's got
has all
nobody
of
to
the
give it to.
objectives.
He's
Yeah,
nobody to give it to.
unable to use it.
Yeah, that's a good problem to have, as they say, though. All right, he only needs 4 points to win. So, in a sense, he could just run his extracts away, call it a day.
Yep. Rhino needs to generate 2 power to rob someone. It also helps that Larry, thanks to all according to plan on Yigthulu's part, Larry's going to have the last activation.
Mm.
And again, if let's say Rhino would daze Thor and rob Luke Cage, then maybe he's not dazing Thor. He's got Odin's blessing.
Nope.
But maybe, just maybe. No, he's not dazing Thor because there's Odin's blessing, and then he gets placed within 2, and then Luke Cage can taunt. So no.
No. It's a decent hit though, but great save. So another bad set of dice not helping out Yigthulu.
Yeah. Could throw the hay bale, but
yeah.
If he doesn't generate the power here, it's I dare say it's over.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it's definitely over because Thor and Luke Cage on their own score 4 points.
Mm-hmm. Right, because they have the secure and are near each other for the extra bonus VP.
I suppose Rhino contests it now, but Thor has enough power to just throw him off.
Yep. Okay, that's the end of Rhino's activation, I think. He didn't get an activated token, though, so I'm not 100% sure.
So what we saw was some suboptimal extract collecting round 1. We saw the extract game getting out of hand in Larry's favor round 2, where he managed to control the situation, throw Yigthulu's characters away, just give them bad options overall, and then just cruise it home.
Yeah.
Cruising.
So Rhino had to move as part of his attack to within 1 of his targets, so he's done that now. And I think, did he have another attack left? He had 1 more action to go?
He did too.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He did 1 into Thor and then 1 into Cage.
Yeah, okay, fine. So
it didn't generate power.
No.
We should get some maybe there, but maybe they've called it. I don't know.
Possibly. There's a lot of hand waving going on.
Oh, maybe, yeah, he generated the 2 power there, and he's robbing Cage.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay, so he's dropped the token closer to the right side of the screen and then threw Luke Cage away.
Sadly for Rhino, he only generated the 2 power he needed for this robbery, so he didn't have 3, so he could pick up the extracts as well.
That's happened to me so many times with Rhino. It's really aggravating.
Funny thing though is that Larry can't pick that up because no one
Ooh, you're breaking up your internet.
left to act.
You're really stuttering, my friend. I hope everybody can hear me at least smoothly. Poor Huggy. He's working too hard on those books. keep trying, Huggy Bear.
Can you hear me?
No, your internet's is blinking on you. All right, looks like Thor just threw Kingpin off of the point and is now moving to the back point to stay nice and safe. A woot face. I like that, PHP. Okay, so that's the end of Thor's activation. So that leaves Lars just with his Beta Ray Bill, who's out in Africa. Here at the top of the screen. Yeah, both Beta Ray Bills left to go. But at this point, Lars has got 1, 2, 3, 4 VPs.
Yep.
Okay, Beta Ray Bill taking an action to move forward. He might be in enough range to attack Lars's Beta Ray Bill.
Possibly so.
Let's see.
Apparently my audio isn't working.
I can hear you, but you're
all right. Nice, I'm back.
You're back. Yeah, it was stuttering for
I was thinking of it. Do I know any sign language?
You gonna sign this match now? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So Yigthulu's Beta Ray Bill is attacking Larry's Beta Ray Bill. Let's see how this goes down.
Yep.
Will the real Beta Ray Bill please stand up? 2 hits with a crit into 2 saves, unfortunately, already.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it.
No.
Not even close.
1 damage goes through. Oh, he gets to reroll.
Still, even if he turns this into
1. Oh, that's a nice hit, though, now. 5. That's those rerolls. So
it
that
is.
Reroll was from Daredevil, but also from... He probably used the Spender, which allows you to reroll 2 dice against flying targets.
Yep.
So that was a nice hit, but Beta Ray Bill spent a power to reduce it by 1, and he only took 2. He's fine. I think this is it now, last activation. Yeah, Bill is there, and just going to be within 2 of Enchantress to get an extra VP.
Exactly. So that would mean 6 points, taking Larry to 18 and staggering 0 for Yigthulu. Yikes.
Yeah. I think that's it. Yep, there it goes. That's 16, 18 to 4. Gosh. Wow. All right, Huggy, shall we jump into their channel and say hi?
Yep.
All right, see you there. All right, so let me just find where they're playing. There they are. Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
I'm assuming that's the end of the match, yes?
Yeah, for sure. It was a slaughter.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you both for letting me and Huggy
Yeah,
Bear streaming it. It was really great to see a Norwegian and Iceland match. We don't get those very often, so thank you so much.
No. Yeah, of course.
So let's start with you, Yigthulu. We were talking a little bit about how interesting the Icelandic meta is. There seems to be a small community, but a strong community there. Is that right?
Not right now, but it's pretty decent most of the time. We have like two to 5 people showing up semi-regularly, topping out at 7 or 8.
Okay.
We have a good day.
That's good. And is Helgi one of the participants?
Yes, he shows up about twice a month, roughly.
Oh, nice.
To lend models and be a backseat gamer because he wants people to play. He wants to get people into the game.
Yeah, oh, that's a good community builder. He also mentions
Yeah.
to me about some sort of cabin that you guys rent out and play a lot of MCP in.
No, I think it's just a family. It's a family cabin we go to and play MCP for a weekend.
Oh, that's amazing. What time of year does that take place?
Um, whenever, whenever we have time to go there, I
Nice.
guess it's. I mean, I haven't gone there in the middle of the winter. I went last spring, I believe,
Uh-huh.
and we ended up playing. Uh, f- was it? I think 4 to 6 games of Separation Anxiety. Because there were four of us, and we just didn't feel like doing anything else, and that was pretty amazing. We also did do the caveat that we couldn't play the same model again. So by the end of the thing, it was kind of getting really interesting in regards to model choices and lists.
That's a great rule. I like that. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And people were like reaching deep into their collection there to do some things.
Love it. So,
Yeah.
Yigthulu, how long have you been playing?
I think I started somewhere in the middle of COVID, like
Uh,
maybe 1.5 to 2 years ago,
okay.
probably.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your game plan here. We loved your roster. We were hoping actually to see Modok Sorcerer Supreme or whatever he's called, Sciences Supreme.
Yeah. So let's open up the roster here. So my thought was like, just he has like better model quality than I do, I feel. So I felt like I wanted to go 16 to have him have him some like make him have some trouble picking what models he was going to choose.
Yep.
I ended up going for the 4 forecasts, but in retrospect I probably should have been running something like this. Is probably what I should have been running.
So I'm
A
gonna
little bit wider.
point
Yeah.
it out to Huggy Bear because he's not seeing the screen. So
Mm.
Yigthulu is saying Kingpin, Daredevil, Hood, Bullseye, and Mystique as an alternative
Yeah.
lineup.
Yeah,
Right.
so like that's probably, in retrospect, that's probably what I should have been running, because I know they can like heal and get rid of conditions, so I didn't feel comfortable running like attrition,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
but
Yep.
I just
The
didn't
rapid fires
realize.
are great with the
Yeah,
incinerates as well.
exactly, and maybe I should have been rocking Miss Marvel and just yank people off points or something.
Mm-hmm.
But again, uh, it's hard to say. I rolled absolutely nothing
Yeah.
this entire game, and I deployed way out of position, which is just like you live and you learn, I guess. That's just what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, in retrospect, I probably should have had like all of them, like all three of them, go up the middle and just get into his face.
Yep.
But I didn't realize that Demons is really low scoring now. It's only like 1 for everything.
Correct.
So there's only like 3. So there's only 3 points for that. And with Enchantress being able to steal a token each turn, it's really hard to actually keep the tokens.
Yes. Yeah. And I think the secure was Lars's pick, right?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
his picks for
Yeah.
sure.
You know, and it's,
I would have definitely picked. I would have definitely picked my secures over his
yeah,
if I had won the priority roll for sure.
sure. But look, hey, you went 4-2 in a very very competitive league format. That's nothing
Yeah.
to be ashamed of. That's really great.
Yeah, I was for my first game I played Magneto and lost because of a crazy Red Skull spike into Rhino.
Oh yeah.
He didn't even pay for blanks, and he still rolled 6 hits, and I was like,
Yeah.
great. And after that, I did some senior Thanos action, and it was just killing my soul to see people facing against that. Because it's so easy, you just don't have to roll well, you just roll, and you can count your skull, and then you get to move people around and be all sorts of annoying and punch people really hard, and it's really good, but like it literally sucked the soul out of me. So I wanted to try I really like Mr. Shadowlands here.
Yeah.
He's a really cool model, so I figured I'd try something like that. And I honestly think I mostly won because I just randomed Researcher twice
Okay.
in my second 2 games, and Criminal Syndicate is like just way amazing on Researcher.
Yeah. Sure. Do you use the Kingpin leadership on that one?
Of course.
Yeah.
Like I usually, yeah, maybe Huggy is right in the fact that I should have gone maybe for the Shadowlands leadership in the beginning with more rapid fires and more attrition, and just pray that I get some of his models down.
Yeah.
But the first turn, like the second turn yeeting Rhino over here was just terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like that was devastating.
Yeah.
And no good way to recover from that one.
Sure.
So having more models to activate probably would have helped me a bit.
Yeah.
But still, that's just the game.
Yeah.
Uh,
One last thing we wanted to mention, if any of the Icelandic players want to come over to the WTC, there's a few teams looking for players to help fill out their teams. So maybe you can pass on the word.
I will ask
It'd be
around.
great
I know
to see you guys.
Yeah, I will be showing up. I'm going to be temporary Croatian for that one.
Hey, fantastic! Congrats!
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Nice.
so good. Oh, excellent! That Icelandic representation there. Love it.
Yes.
Cool. Huggy, do you have any questions for Yigthulu before we move over to Lars?
No, I think we covered the roster situation. Was maybe thinking a little about the versatile strategy reasoning there. Well, when you started out with the Kingpin leadership, was your plan to like score points early and then switch to violence mode later? Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, the idea was to score. Like usually, how this list plays out is that you get ahead on turn 1 and then you just maintain a lead while slowly suffocating your enemy. And usually, I don't prefer to do attacks. I usually just prefer to throw them away and just count as 2 on points and be annoying.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the strategy, but obviously it didn't work out, which was my own fault.
Live and
for
learn.
Not playing well. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I could like figure out whom to sacrifice. Yeah.
There's this other dynamic with versatile strategy that I find very interesting. That if you start with Daredevil's leadership and you all along have the threat of switching to Kingpin at any time, that forces the opponent to play as though you had both leaderships. Because you might switch to Kingpin anytime and then score a ton of points and perhaps decide the game right there and then.
Yeah.
So they have to like bunch up anyway.
Yeah, that's one. I didn't really think of it like that, but that's a very valid point. I usually thought about it in the way I usually just prefer to start with the Kingpin leadership to just gather the points and like consolidate the win, and then when I need to strategically remove a model, I do that either by switching over or just by virtue of Mr. Shadowlands being able to do 9 die spenders into people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to Lars. Lars, tell us which part of Norway you're from, and also if you could comment on the size of the community in Norway, because I was told that because the kids didn't have a steady diet of Marvel comics there, that it's not terribly popular of an IP.
I'm from Oslo, so play in the 2D6 club.
Oh yeah, I know it very well.
Yeah,
nice.
I started 3 months ago because there are 2 guys playing in the club. Immediately loved the game, and now 3 months later we're 14, growing very fast.
Wow, that is great news! Amazing.
Yeah, fantastic.
Hopefully WTC next year. Definitely talking about it.
Yeah, it seems like you have enough players to scrape together 5 people out of the essentially 15. That sounds great.
Yeah, and we have some of the players that did well in the War Machine WTC as well. So
yeah, well, I can imagine
Norwegians like good games.
Yeah, exactly. Once they got over the fact that they don't really know the IP, once they tried the rules, I'm sure they got hooked straight away.
Everyone I've showed it to has ordered models the same day after the first day. Great.
Congratulations. That's a great feeling, I'm sure, when you help make a community happen.
Oh, yeah. The club is already very good, but I'm happy that more people are open to trying new games.
Yeah. And why did you get interested in it?
Just I have a friend, and we got tired of Age of Sigmar, and he said, been collecting MCP for a couple of years. Said, please try it. 'Cause I was also kind of not into the superhero thing, and yeah, just really enjoyed the game. It's fun. It's a really fun game.
Absolutely. Love it. I mean, and it has such good depth to it and variety. It's perfect.
Yeah, and really good for recruiting because a ton of options, but you can like always make good options. Like even though it's not the best, so it's good for a variety of skill levels.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it could be as fun as you want to make it or as competitive as you want to make it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Lars.
Yeah, and you always get to have a game. It's like never you alpha strike the opponent and they don't get to do anything. Well, there are lists like that, but in like 9 times out of 10, you always get a game. It's not like the War Machine mechanic where you just get assassinated top of 2 if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Lars, congratulations! You with this win, you're into the finals, which is super exciting. Is this your first league?
Yeah, like I said, I started like a month prior to the league starting.
Wow, amazing! Good for you. Congratulations. That's great. So, tell us about your game plan here. How did you choose your roster, and what was your basic approach?
Yigthulu was right. 16 is not great for me. I was hoping, like I'm opening my roster here. I was hoping he would go 4 wide as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of what I was hoping for, because I took a pretty long time making the list. I was thinking going. Hold on. It's not right.
So we're looking at Scourge, Thor, Toad, and Valkyrie, and Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I guess it's similar in damage output because of the extra character.
So why
I
did
did
you
want,
switch down to 4?
I really wanted to steal
Uh-huh.
Against Criminal Syndicate because I would assume they would get the 2 points, and I could secure my back one with the throws. But I
Right.
really needed more of the paranoia tokens. So it was Black Cat was an option, but I felt like this scenario was a bit too tight for her.
Yep.
So that's why I went with and of course having Bill helps a lot.
Well, I think Huggy and I were really impressed at your positioning, right? Huggy Bear, were there some instances where you saw like some really nice moves?
Well, for sure. There was since you managed to grab the extract lead early, then you did not get tempted into brawling. You just threw away his models and forced him to come to you, which is something that criminals are not great at generally.
Yeah, they don't like displacement. Like Kingpin was pretty much irrelevant this game because he was. I threw him in 2 rounds just away, so he had to use an action to walk back. And the Rhino throw was lucky; it was so close that he can get into Enchantress there.
Yep.
But yeah, so I just decided, okay, I'll go for the throw on Rhino, and I'll move Bill back here because he didn't have any powers. I didn't want him taking any unnecessary damage.
Yeah, and you also use Enchantress really well with her Siren's Calls, moving people around, key people around into awkward positions.
Yeah, and also she had a great beam hitting
Yeah.
3 people.
Yeah, and you stole all of Rhino's power with that one. That was a blow.
Yeah, and I also stole one of Shadowland earlier turn, which gave me 5 in total from 1 beam, so I could move him and steal the token off him.
Yeah, it was nasty. Nasty.
Yeah, she can be very good.
Cool. Well, look, we're going to wish you lots of luck in the finals. You have a week off now to kind of get your head together and see what you want to play, get some practice games in against your big 2d6 community. And it'll be exciting to see how you do in the elimination rounds.
Yeah, we'll see if Asgard is as bad as they say.
And mentioned it to the Norwegian club there that they are still looking for a player on the Israeli team, I think, and also maybe the Austrians are looking for a player. So if anybody's getting excited enough to want to go to the WTC this year already, they should get a hold of me.
I'll mention it.
Cool. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. It was great, really active chat. Lots of interesting people talking about the game and about the Marvel Universe. And then we had Huggy Bear trying to put in all kinds of sexual references into my cast here, which is terrible. Bad Huggy Bear. But thank you very much for watching, everybody.
Next week.
Well, next week we have off. I might play a game. I might actually play a game and stream that, Huggy Bear, since we have a week off. We'll see. We'll see, because I'm going to be in my artist residence for a little bit of a short weekend break and have some time on my hands. We'll see. But in the meantime, Huggy Bear, thank you so much for being on the show, as always.
Always a pleasure, Norbert.
Fantastic. All right, everybody, have a great time, and we'll see you on the next one.